All right, I don't know about you, but my kids are growing like crazy, right? Seems like every year, I swear, they grow a few inches. And with that, it starts to mean that we need bigger and bigger RVs. Well, introducing the all-new Airelume 315. This thing is a massive bunkhouse with dual slides in the back, opening up, giving you a ton of space. But the thing I really like about the Airelume is that it's still affordable, right? Just because it's big doesn't mean that it has to price you out of the market. And it's nice, it has great amenities, right? I mean, you're looking right here, you have the thermoformed countertops, undermount stainless steel sink in here, tons of space, you have the big slide in the main living area, and as I mentioned, kind of the heart of the floor plan is gonna be right back here where you have dual opposing slides in this big old bunk room. Big fan of this right here. You got the top bunk there, you got another one right here. We can kind of drop down and see underneath that you have all these bins, so great additional storage space. Along the wall, you have a spot for a TV there, storage on kind of up top. You have hanging racks on both sides. And then right across the way, you're gonna have another top bunk with a sofa right there underneath that, of course, jackknifes down, and you have good additional storage underneath that as well. Folks, this is like a kid's paradise back here, right? Hanging out, get the PlayStation back here, like playing games or, for Christmas, we got the Nex playground, Nex. That thing is cool. Like you can hook that up. It uses like a camera. Kids can like jump around and play. If you've never seen it before, check it out. If you have littles, my girls currently are 6 and 10. And they love that thing. And I could totally see them being back here in this space, hooking that up, being able to jump around and play. Check that one out, it's pretty sweet. Also, right up top here is going to be one of 2 air conditioners in this coach. It's big enough, it certainly needs it. And then of course we have a TV there as well. Now mind you, just like you folks, like a lot of times we go camping to get away from electronics, but inevitably we always have rainy days. And that's why I say, that's what I like that for, because rainy day activities, that's a good one. Otherwise, we're outside, right? All right, going back out into the main living area, take a look at this slide. You have a big old super slide right here. You can see that you have the Furion refrigerator. Next to that is gonna be what they call the Luma Lounge. So what you have is you have the dinette right here with the table in the center. Take a look at this storage, by the way, underneath the base. I mean, you have huge storage right there. You'll have that on both sides. And the table I like, there's only a single leg, and then it's attached to the wall. So that way, it's a lot more stable. I mean, I can try to shake this thing and it hardly moves, compared to if you have 2 pedestal legs, like it shakes like crazy and your plates are falling off and it's a big old mess. I definitely like this setup much, much better. And as you would expect, that does drop down into a bed. But where this becomes versatile is this right here, because this actually pulls out, drops right along in here, and then you have a cushion that attaches to that back wall where that Velcro piece is, and then this just becomes one big sofa with a chase lounge, which, as you would expect, is going to have a great shot right over here to the entertainment center. So this is a really cool setup. I do like it. I love the storage underneath here. Same thing, this is a jackknife sofa, by the way, so as you'd expect, right, folds up, drops flat, but take a look at this. Underneath that, boom, more storage comes with the bins. You don't have to worry about trying to find them. You're good to go. Something else I like, there's a few things. One of them is gonna be this right here, the window. The window is placed up high, so that way it still lets in a lot of natural light. It opens so you can have some ventilation, but while you're sitting down, you still get privacy, right? Like people aren't looking in, you're not getting that awkward thing where you're staring out at your neighbors, making eye contact accidentally. No, nobody wants that. So I do like what it did with the window. Also, little storage bays. This right here, you'll see that cushion, that storage spot is intended for that cushion. There's another one right down there. There we go. Right down there, and that is intended for that cushion. And then both of those cushions are the ones that go right here to make up that chase lounge. So again, a lot of intentionality in this design, which I really like. Now, right outside our big bunk room, we're gonna open this up so you can take a look. This is going to be the bathroom. Sorry, it does need to be cleaned a little bit here. This one just got in, hasn't been detailed yet, but it will be, I promise. We see the 2-piece shower right there. I'll stand in it just a second just to kind of show you size, but over to the side is our vanity. You know, I would imagine that there's supposed to be a door there. I'd be hard pressed to believe that that is left open, but I could be wrong. This is a brand new floor plan, so I am not 100% certain. I would certainly like a door there. I don't love how that looks otherwise. It just, you know, it's not decorative enough to not have a door. All right, anyway, let me step in the shower just to kind of show you what we got here. As far as height, I mean, with the skylight, folks, I can probably be 6'2", 6'3", and still stand in here. Without the skylight, my hair is touching the ceiling. So, you know, if you're 6'1", you're probably have to duck down a little bit. But the skylight honestly spans almost the entire shower. So as long as you stand underneath that skylight, which, like I said, you should be able to pretty easily, shouldn't be much of a problem, even if you are 6'2", 6'3". So as much as I am not loving this, one of the things I will say, and again, like I said, it probably needs a door. It probably came off. We just need to put it back on. But what I will say is that right over here to the side is your tankless water heater. So this is a Suburban. Now, Suburban essentially has two different models. They have the lesser model, which is going to be 42,000 BTU, and then the bigger one, which is what they have here, which is this 60,000 BTU. And I love that even though this one is supposed to, you know, it's built to be affordable, but they put in things that people care about. And people hate, you know, running out of hot water or not having hot water for a shower. So they put in a bigger water heater so that that wouldn't happen. Also, things like this, like behind the entertainment center, you get a big old pantry. This is not a real TV, by the way, folks. This is just, you know, so you do have to put your own TV there. But they just have smart, I talked about this a second ago, smart intentionality like this right here. Oh, you have your TV here? Great. Now you can put your cords right through there. And voila, it appears right in the back here. So now you can have all your components right here. You have a Blu-ray player or, you know, again, PlayStation, whatever else it is, you can hook it up there, you're good to go. And then you have all that additional pantry space, which is wonderful. And of course, we have that 5,000 BTU fireplace / space heater hanging out right there. This is another example. Microwave, they put it up nice and high so it's easy to access. A lot of manufacturers are moving this to underneath the oven, and I hate that, and I'll talk about why in a second. But underneath that, you have this little guy, so you have a spot for your K-cups right here, so you can bring your Keurig, put it there, plug it in, you're good to go. Maybe you're saying, Ian, well, I'm not a Keurig guy, I'm a Chemex guy, you know, I like pour-overs. Well, we have space for that too. You can put everything right down here, then you'll see the converter is going to be there, and then you have a spot for your few shoes right down underneath that as well. Kind of rounding out the kitchen space, if we take a look up top, we can see our control panel will be located here. Also has prep for solar. You're getting a two-tone wood cabinet doors up top. Open that up for you so you can kind of see. It's a good storage up there, actually. And then dropping down, take a look at how big this window is. This is a huge window, especially in comparison to the one over here. And again, it is intentional because this is the side we want to see on. This is the view we want, right? We want to be able to look out to our campsite. This gives us the ability to do it. As I'm sitting here, you know, doing dishes in my undermount stainless steel sink with thermoform countertops and high-rise faucet here, I can be looking out and I can watch my girls playing right out there. And again, that is what I want to be able to see. Right next to that is going to be your 3-burner cooktop with a glass cover here. There are going to be outlets on both sides of the countertop. You have one here as well as another one right over there. And then we drop down and take a look at the storage underneath. This is going to be essentially the same storage space, but you get 2 different access points. So a couple different ways to access that. The cool thing about it, though, is if you want, you can put a trash can right there. If you like your trash can under your sink. That being said, you don't have to put it there because they already put it right there for you. So you have a couple different places in which you can put a trash can, or if you want multiple trash cans, you can do that too. You have these silverware drawers right here, and they kind of have this nice angle on them to follow the angle of the countertop, which I kind of like. You know, I think that's pretty neat whenever manufacturers do just, I don't know, something a little bit more different, a little bit outside of the box. And then as we talked earlier, underneath this cooktop, a lot of manufacturers are putting a microwave here. And you know what? If this drawer was a microwave and it was a drawer microwave that pulls out, that makes sense because now I can take food and I can place it down in here, but that's not the case. Normally it's just a standard microwave and I have to pop the door open and I have to lean down to be able to get to it. And I don't know about you, but this is not the position I want to be in when I'm getting my food out of a microwave. So I like that they instead put your pots and pans storage here, and then they kept the microwave up nice and high right over there. This is another thing I want to talk about and I have questions about. You know, and I know that they put this in all the heirlooms. I see a lot of manufacturers doing something very similar, kind of like the stamped steel here. I want to know your thoughts. Do you like the looks of this? Do you think, you know, at least it's kind of a cool design. I do like, I will say, I really do like the saying, right? I don't know if you can read this, picks up on camera, but it says life is measured in moments, and I think that is super sweet. I really do like that saying. I just wondering what you think. Do you like that? Do you think it adds? Do you think it detracts from the overall look? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it, because, you know, I have my opinions, but I'm just one person, and I want to know what everyone else thinks. Okay. Let's move up into the bedroom. You'll see that you get a slider door here so we can close this off. The bed itself, folks, this is a residential size 60 by 80 queen size mattress, 60 by 80 inches. So if you want to take your mattress from home and you want to swap this out, you can do that nice and easy. It will fit. And in fact, they kind of planned on people doing that, because what they've done is they made the shelves so they do not come over the bed and they're high. So that way, if you get a thicker mattress, right, it'll still be okay, and the shelf is still gonna be at a good spot. Same thing with this one overhead. They place this higher than normal, so if you get a thicker mattress, you don't sit up and bang your head on the shelf right across the top. So pretty smart thinking. Also on the sides, you'll see electrical outlets in case you need to plug in a cell phone, or if you're like me and you sleep with a CPAP machine. You can see right up top here is going to be TV hookup. You also get wardrobe right over here to the side. Open that up so you can take a peek at that. And then last but certainly not least, right here, you have a floor to ceiling wardrobe. You can see the hanging rod right there, but more importantly, I'm sure you saw it, that is washer and dryer prep. That is really awesome. So if you're looking for a coach that you can spend some time in with the kiddos, you want to be able to do laundry, you still want it to be affordable, this one right here is an excellent option. But it's not just about what the floor plan looks like. Obviously the floor plan wants or needs to work, but it's also about how it's built, so let's go outside and take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at the outside of the 2026 Heirloom 315. Starting off right up front here, you'll see this one does have a power tongue jack, making it nice and easy to hook up and disconnect from your tow vehicle, also a lot easier to level the RV front to back. You'll see two 20-pound propane tanks with the cover, rails for the battery, and then right over here is going to be the battery disconnect. So that way you can just quickly kill all drain on your battery. You'll also see the rock guard right up front here, as well as the smooth aluminum front, which not only looks really nice, but also is a lot easier to clean. And I personally really like the color here as well. I think it's really sharp. You'll see it actually wraps around the side. And the whole exterior is just a lot more modern, a lot more clean than what we're used to seeing on a lot of RVs, right? Gone are like all the swoops and swooshes, just a lot more clean lines. I think it just looks a lot more elegant overall. Kind of taking a look here, we'll see that the pass-through is open. This is a dry erase board, so if you need to leave notes here, you can do that. Also, right down underneath is the pass-through itself. This one does have a light in it, which makes me happy. And then you will see that there is a door on the other side. It's a little bit smaller though, so bear that in mind. Sorry, there is some stuff in here, but it just kind of, I guess, does give you a frame of reference of size. And there is going to be dual access from inside. I don't think I showed that when I was in there, but this does lift up so you can access everything underneath the bed. Kind of taking a walk back out here, the aluminum itself is actually an upgraded aluminum. It's going to be thicker than what your standard aluminum panels are, which is nice. It also has a nicer finish on it, so it just looks better in person. It's always hard to tell on camera, it doesn't show up super well, but in person, if you put this next to like a standard aluminum exterior, you'll very quickly and easily be able to see the difference. Also down underneath, so the way they hang this, right, they essentially hang it from the top down. So the nice thing about that is if it does get damaged down underneath here from hitting like a fire pit, picnic table, something like that, it is nice and easy to replace. It's honestly one of the biggest advantages to aluminum over a fiberglass exterior is that, you know, while it may bang up a little bit easier, it's also a lot easier to fix than if you put a hole or damage fiberglass. Taking a look at the main entry, this is has the MORryde step above steps here. You'll see it is 3 steps up and in. All aluminum treads, they're not gonna rust. That top one there is going to be wider as well, so when someone is coming out of the coach, you have a little bit bigger step there, being a little bit more secure, and also coming into the coach, you get the foldable grab handle here. Up top, you get the power awning that has an LED light strip on there too, and we can see that massive window I talked about when we were inside, kind of overlooking the kitchen right there. I do love when the manufacturer puts in a big window so you can see out to the campsite. Right here is going to be that tankless water heater, as I mentioned, 60,000 BTU rather than the 42K. So that is going to be a big benefit there. You also have an electric outlet. So if you want to plug anything in, it is you have access to that. Then coming around to the back, one of my favorite parts on a bunk model is when they can do things like this, and that is give you a killer outside kitchen. So yes, there is TV hookup there. We have a sink right here, a nice big beverage fridge. I always prefer when they're able to put in a larger fridge like they have done here. And then this is like a metal, so that this cleans up nice and easy out here too. You have a little bit of storage there, maybe for some spices, some additional storage here, maybe for some bottles, a red Solo cup, something like that. You know, the world is your oyster. Let your imagination run wild. You'll also see that right back here is a propane quick connect. So if you have like a Blackstone or a Coleman grill you want to bring with you, you can do that, plug it in right there, you're good to go. Spare tire with the cover mounted to the square tubular bumper. Also up top is going to be your ladder prep, so you can buy the portable telescoping ladder to climb up onto the fully walkable roof. And then right next to that, of course, is our backup camera prep. Coming around to the side is a 50 amp detachable power cord, because not only does this one have the fireplace, but it also has 2 ACs. And then we're gonna get both our black tank flush as well as our city water inlet, cable and satellite inlets will be located there too. Coming around a little bit further, there's a few things I wanna talk about, and I do wanna, after that I'll get down underneath and show you a few things, but on the slides themselves, I did just want to mention that this one does come with slide prep. So if you want, or rather slide topper prep, sorry. So if you want that slide topper, it's a lot easier to install. And I really do like slide toppers personally, just because they help protect the top of the slide from like sticks and pine cones and stuff, because otherwise they'll fall on top of the slide. And if you don't brush them off when you bring the slide in, they can get into your seal and jam up your seals up top. Also help protect from sap and everything else there. So I really do recommend those. And again, having the prep makes it less expensive to have them installed, which is always great. Okay, let's drop down and talk slide systems real quick. Yeah, you'll see right there, that is through frame rack and pinion. I would say arguably, you know, the best in the industry. It's everyone's favorite, but I don't even think it's arguable anymore. It definitely is. So I really like to see through frame rack and pinion. And even on the smaller slides here, we're seeing the exact same things. They did use basically the best when it comes to slide systems. One of the downsides here is you will have 3 separate terminations. So you have one here, you'll have another one back here, then you have another one way up there. So just bear that in mind for any dumping, or if you're at your site, you're gonna have to get a few Ys to be able to connect everything together. Dropping down underneath, I just wanna show you the underbelly. It is fully enclosed and insulated, and they call this the accessibelly, because you can see here every little space. I don't know what that is, maybe 3 feet or so. Looks like there is a row of bolts that you can drop down to be able to access anything in the underbelly. So anytime you're talking about ease of maintenance and troubleshooting, that is always good when manufacturers build that in. So I definitely like to see that here on the Airelume. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you like what you see here? Is there anything you would change? If you are interested and you want price and availability, certainly let me know. All you actually have to do is, there'll be a link down in the description. Just click on that and it will take you to nearest availability and show you pricing. Why do I do that instead of saying a price? Well, because depending on options, depending on where it's shipped to, price can vary just a little bit. And I want to make sure that I'm not lying to you, that you feel like you're getting the wrong price. So by clicking on that, it'll take you exactly where you need to go. All right, folks, thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker. Until next time, we'll see you.